With everything that has gone wrong in the last 2 weeks since Donald Trump regained power, the MAGA are just content to sit back and let it happen. Forget the fact that civil rights are being destroyed. Forget the fact that he's populated his White House cabinet with lunatics, liars, criminals, and racists. Forget the fact that he's had 2 disasters happen on his watch, and he's done nothing but blame other people before an investigation even has begun. Donald Trump supporters are content to just sit back and let it happen. Well, I'm not going to do that, and others in this country shouldn't do that. And help me illustrate this, I'm going to read you an article from John Pavlovitz, The Second Coming of MAGA's Messiah: How a Rapist, Felon, and Traitor became millions of Americans' savior, and what the rest of us can do now. For as long as America is remembered on this planet, people will try to understand these days throughout the distorted lens of time and distance. Authors, sociologists, criminologists, cult experts, political scientists, and brilliant minds in future generations will attempt to explain how tens of millions of once reasonable, sane, seemingly good-hearted human beings betrayed their love of country, their spiritual beliefs, and their moral convictions, and passionately embraced a man who lived with complete contempt for all of them. Hundreds of years from now, a myriad of creative theories will be profited as to how a court-adjudicated rapist, convicted of 34 felonies, successfully used every available illegal and legal method to avoid accountability for engineering an insurrection in an attempt to overturn a free and fair election, as well as for stealing and sharing of classified documents. The greatest scholars of their time will strain to explain how a career criminal, serial predator, and bankrupt businessman commandeered an entire political party, a compromised Supreme Court, and complicit media to not only evade justice of any kind for his crimes, but to be rewarded with the presidency a second time in spite of them. And no matter what history records, they won't have a prayer of truly explaining it, because we're living it right now, and honestly, it makes no damn sense to any of us. Oh, sure, we can rattle off a few likely motives and contributing factors, but ultimately, we're still left incredulous. All the available research, carefully stiffed data, well-researched think pieces, and late-night talking head commentaries don't explain once rational, otherwise decent, educated people fully taking leave of their senses. People we've grown up with and shared our homes with. People we've worked with and worshipped alongside. Older relatives we spent decades aspiring to, and ministers we once respected for their compassion, old friends we knew until we realized we didn't. Nothing adequately explains their complete rejection of science and medicine and objective truth. Nothing completely accounts for them completely embracing the most nonsensical of conspiracies. And nothing, from racism to ignorance to poverty to partisan media to irrational fear, will ever fully justify throwing your nation away for, objectively speaking, one of the most shittiest human beings on the planet. There is no real satisfactory answer coming to those in the future, and certainly not to those of use who are presently horrified that what we spent a decade trying so hard to help our nation avoid is coming to pass now. At this point, the hows and the whys really don't matter anymore. We simply left with what, and that what is what America, as we known up to this point, is no longer anything we can count on seeing or experiencing ever again. None of the systems or safeguards or rules of engagement are relevant. With 3 branches of government, a cadre of billionaires, a neglect media, and now 77 million unwavering cultic sycophants willing to kill and die for him, the damage we'll see to our republic is impossible to fathom. The cost in human and civil rights losses beyond we can measure. And yet, that doesn't mean hope is lost. It simply means that the shit is about to spectacularly hit the fan in ways we've never known or seen. And the rest of us need to decide that we're not going to go quietly. We're not going to normalize him. We're not going to capitulate. We're not going to bow down, bend over, sit down, shove, bend the knee, or kiss the ring, no matter how many others do. We're not going to make the vulnerable and oppressed people fend for themselves. We're not going to join the cult's mindless, breathless, fevered adoration. We're not going to compromise our convictions to make peace with people who sold their souls and lost the plot. We're not going to easily concede an inch of ground or legal or moral. Look, I don't have a clue what's coming or how to best prepare, and I'm certainly not sure that any of us truly do. What I do know is that I'm not letting this bastard win. I refuse to allow this loveless, joyless, rotten-out husk of a man and his deplorable disciples get the better of me, and I hope you don't either. And the way we'll do that is by fiercely holding to our empathy, because that's what makes us different, by staying laser focused on the things that matter to us, so that we remember why we live when it gets terrifying or infuriating, because it will. By loving well, laughing often, embracing strangers, by healing and helping and giving, and by defiantly living with joy, so we do not become as devoid of it as he and his coven of relentless grievances and irresistible hatred have become. I don't know what the future will record about these days, but I'm damn sure know that right now, with my voice and my circle of influence and my time and my work, I won't make it any easier for this wretched fraud and those who worship him to write the epitaph for America. Today and every day we're here, may we stand together and rise a strident middle finger to their hateful parade as it passes by, because we will never join it. Thank you for this, John Pavlovitz, and I'm going to make this very clear to you. That last paragraph, we said today and every day, may we stand together and raise a strident middle finger to their hateful parade as it passes by, because we won't never join it. Well, Trump and the rest of your sycophants out there still joining this idiocy, here's to you. I will never become part of this insanity you want to call America, because all you've done is rip everything this country stands for to the ground. And I won't be part of it. Today, as I'm recording this on February the 1st, is the first day of Black History Month. Donald Trump has already given orders that no one celebrate it, or be put on pause, thanks to the MMO I talked about in my previous video. Well, I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to put up a post, not necessarily a video, but a post of a photograph of a historic African American in this country. If you want to stop me, if your idiot followers want to stop me, You're free to try to do so. Just make sure you don't miss. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.